You
Mhm.
had said something too about when you were speaking about this chakras, and when our energy centers are balanced, then we tend to feel better. And
Mhm.
that really is so true for me as well. Like, if I'm stuck in my head thinking, it's like I'm not in my body. And I think like there's something to be said about like getting down into the body and grounding. Like some there are some days, especially, when I was younger, where maybe I didn't even think once about grounding, you know? So
Mhm.
I think it's I think it's a really powerful tool, especially if there are people out there that are working in the public,
Mm.
or working with other people. It's like staying grounded within ourselves and holding that energy, and being in our own bubble. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah, I'm so glad
we
you
talked
mentioned
about
the
that.
bubble
Yeah.
because, yeah, the other part of our energetic protection is sort of this energy suit we carry around with us, which is the aura, which is sort of our electromagnetic field. It's the sum of all of the energy in our body, and it is basically our protective energetic field, and it keeps all of the energy in our body safe. So it's sort of like, sort of the myelin layer on nerves, or like, the plastic coating on a wire. It keeps all of the energy inside your body inside, and it keeps everything else outside. And what's beautiful is that when you're in your own bubble, not only do you feel cozier, but it's much easier to get into that space of live and let live. You are less affected by other people's ups and downs, and more able to stay compassionately witness wherever they are without taking that energy on. And it's very, very important, especially for sensitive, energetic people, to tend to that energy space around your body. And I think it's even important to acknowledge that, maybe we're more than just a physical hunk of meat shuffling about carrying a computer on the top of our heads.
Mm.
We are so much more than the 3D self. We are expanded and connected to all the energy in everything and everywhere. And the aura is like a little packet or a container that helps you feel um, safe and clear, and where your feelings and your energy can stay inside your borders, and other people's energy and feelings can stay over there. And it's not about being uncaring or unfeeling, but it's actually about helps you be in the most compassionate, centered, and clear space possible. But I'm curious, Melissa, like, how do you take care of your aura?
Yeah, I used to work in retail, and I would
Mm.
find that I might be connecting with like hundreds of people in a day. And, I would find that that can be very draining. So something that I would do, and like I've recommended this to clients, it's still a practice if I need it, even if I'm at like a family function, to literally go to the washroom or somewhere private. I love the washroom because no one will bug you in there. And to just like sit down
Nobody
and like,
chases you into the stall.
yeah, you can just literally have a little bit of privacy, even if it's like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need, but to like
Mhm.
sit down, feel grounded, ground into the earth, and just really tap into the breath and take a moment to fill up the aura. Like I know, some people might not be attuned to Reiki, but to even just um, picture a violet or white light just surrounding the crown down through the whole body, grounding the energy and opening to divine, and setting an intention that I'm in my own safe space and my own bubble. And I lovingly can, witness other people, but I don't need to take on stuff. They can have their stuff and I can be compassionate, but I have my own power and my own safety, and it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, just taking a moment to myself
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah. And there's that saying that wherever attention goes, energy flows. So just focusing on your aura, just imagining light around you that's protective and safe and goes with you wherever you need, and will just instantly sort of clear anything and just send it to the divine, like, or send it to the earth. It just all slides off like Teflon, or some other natural substance. Water off a duck's back. There we go.
It's a thing.
Something that just sort of lets anything that you might have picked up or anything that might be sent your way it just gets dissipated to, higher and wiser powers that be, and they'll take care of it. Just sort of sweeping your arms around you, just putting a little bit of light around you, grounding, taking a breath into that space around you, knowing that you're sort of held in this safe light throughout your whole day, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, and that it travels with you, and you can re-up in the bathrooms, so
yeah, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
You can always take a moment to do that.
You can always take a moment. And but it's sort of like, for me anyway, it's much easier to stay in the energy that rather than trying to regroup it later. Because then for me anyway, I feel like I'm scrambling, like trying to like patch holes in my aura as I go. But if I start out with just a little breath, a little energy around me, it's much easier to maintain it throughout the day, especially if you are a frontline worker, if you're a teacher, or in medical profession, or in retail, or you've got a very public facing job where you're around a lot of different people who may be quite demanding and in a state themselves, in a state of distress or trauma. It's really, really important to sort of go in with as much clarity and energy, sort of like packing it with you, just like you pack your lunch, and building it into sort of a no-fail routine is basically, why I suggest tying it to getting dressed. Because we never forget to do that. And it's so, so vital and important for people. So yeah, amazing. Welcome to the LunaHolistic podcast. I'm your host, Geneva Robins, and every month on this podcast, we'll talk about Reiki, as well as answering your questions on all things spiritual. If you've got a question, we'd love to hear from you. Go to lunaholistic.com/podcast, and we'll answer you in an upcoming episode. Be sure to subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.